Welcome aboard the Beseto Express. We'll cover 3 countries: Beijing in China, Sei, Seoul in Korea, and Tokyo in Japan. Together we'll explore the culture of Beseto. All aboard the Beseto Express.
The bell rings as if to scare away the darkness. The sound of the bell that delivers the words of the sky to the land and the wishes of the land to the sky rings to be heard afar. In the Orient, the sound of the bell embodies the hopes and faith of all humans. The 3 Beseto countries are all of the same Oriental culture, and their bells originate from Buddhist culture. The Japanese bell is shaped in rather straight lines without much attention to shape from top to bottom. Japanese bells, which have many geometrical decorations, mostly have clear soprano tones. Unlike the Japanese bell, the Chinese bell spreads outwards toward the bottom, and the bottom part is finished with wave-like patterns, like the end of a lady's skirt. And in the middle, there are numerous letters engraved for decoration. The Korean bell has a conical shape that gives off a sense of stability. With its fine decorative patterns, the Korean bell is sublime and has a sound that gives off a lingering feeling for a long time. Now, let's hear the sounds of the bells from the 3 Beseto countries.
Hello, my name is Sunmin Kim and welcome to Beseto Express. On a historic road, there is something that we cannot leave out. It's a sound that you would hear every hour from a church or a cathedral. On Christmas, this sound is also very important. It's the sound of bells. Bells are an important aspect and has been passed on from generation to generation. That is why we're about to find out why bells were made and the importance of bells in Korea, China, and Japan.
The bells of the West were developed with Christianity, mostly to alarm people of a certain time, or to be used as signals. On the other hand, bells have penetrated into everyday lives of people to become necessary objects for decoration, or as everyday utensils. So bells of the West are made of various materials and shapes. They were developed into objects of craftwork and even recognized as objects of art with high values. However, the bells of the Orient started as an instrument. When offering religious services to the sky, dance and music were the most important means, and among them, the bell was the most solemn instrument that decorated the beginning and ending of rituals. And another bell is the Buddhist temple bell, which is a symbol of Buddhism. The sound of the bell liberates humans from the 108 worldly pains talked about in Buddhism. So the sound of the bell is referred to as the sound of Buddha in the 3 Beseto countries. Most Buddhist temple bells have similar shapes. The long and round body is usually made of iron or copper, and the Buddha or his symbols are decorated to give it more beauty. And in the lower part are decorative patterns that symbolized clouds. The clouds symbolize the idea that it is connected with the sky. On the very top is a dragon, or sometimes 2 dragons, which act as rings that let the bell hang. In the middle of the ring is usually the vibration tube, which makes the sound clearer. Unlike the Western bells in which metal hits metal, in the three Beseto countries, wood hits the bell, so the part of the bell which is hit is decorated with patterns. Japan has been a part of Buddhist culture for a very long time, so Japanese bells have developed with its temples. In most temples, there is a place where the bell is put, and a special building is made for that purpose. In the temples of Japan, the bell has an important significance. One can tell the special role of a temple by observing its bell. Simple patterns are decorated on the body. Most are geometrical shapes that embody Buddhist significance. And on the very top of the bell, there is a vibration tube, which delivers the sound far away. On the part of the bell which is tolled, there is a decoration. The part in between the shoulder of the bell and the body is usually a straight line, and from the body to the bottom is also shaped in straight lines. The width of the bell from top to bottom is also pretty much the same without much change, and most bells are small in height.
예전부터 일본종은 대체적으로 이렇게 길쭉한 모양을 가지고 있었습니다. 이 어깨하고 여기 이 내려오는 이 몸통하고 사이라든가 이런 것들이 각이 아주 굉장히 절도 있게 각이 져 있습니다. 마치 일본의 그런 공예품들에서 선을 볼 적에 선이 굉장히 이 날쌘 선이라든가 또는 각을 많이 이용한 선 같은 것을 볼 수 있는데 종에도 그런 것들이 그대로 나타나고 있습니다.
The bell can be said to be the crystalloid, in which all the Korean metal craftwork techniques are combined. Most Korean bells are copper bells, so its sound is deep and subtle, and its decorations are also delicate. If we take a look at the shape of the bell, the top is usually decorated with a dragon, or sometimes two dragons. On the body, an image of an angel going up to heaven is drawn in. This reflects the hope of humans wanting to reach the land of Buddha and heaven. And on the part of the bell which should be tolled, you can find an embossed carving of a lotus flower. You can see this better by observing the ancient Sangwonsa Buddhist temple bell. This bell was made in the 8th century. The body is surrounded by a band with cloud shapes all the way to the bottom. The most unique characteristic of a Korean bell is its shape. 2/3 of the bell is puffed out and its width decreases towards the bottom. And there are two angels on either side who are playing two instruments. There is a big lotus flower decoration on the part where the bell is tolled. By using the techniques of engraving in relief, it adds more life. And most importantly, there is a vibration tube on the very top of the bell, the deep and subtle ring of the bell. Through this vibration tube, its sound was sent to places up to 12 kilometers away.
우리 거는 대받음을 받죠, 대울림을. 그래서 뭐라고 할까, 산울림 현상이 일어나서 그 종소리가 한번 얻어맞은 종소리가 난 종소리가 그냥 퍼져서 멀리 사라지는 거 아니야. 대받고 또 대울림을 받고 대받고 그래서 일본종이나 중국종에다 비해서는 그 여운이 굉장히 오래 가죠.
As the period in which formative art reached its peak around the 10th century, bells of Korea found a shape that had a larger sense of stability. Certain forms of decorations also disappear, becoming more diverse. The decorative patterns also become simpler, and their delicate beauty disappears. But in the 14th century, with the appearance of the Joseon dynasty, that kept a distance with Buddhism. The bells of Korea slowly declined. During this period, the unique beauty of Korean bells disappeared, and their characteristics became mixed with Chinese bells, becoming bigger by 2 to 3 meters. And in the 17th century, the appearance of Korean bells got even simpler and lost their artistic value. The sound of the bell also lost the sound of the past. However, bells were reconstructed in modern days, which helped to restore their beauty from the past. Chinese bells started as ceramic wares. The very early bells of China were used for religious rituals, and their sizes were small. But with the start of the Iron Age, bells started to be made with iron as well. And an instrument using numerous bells appeared. It was an instrument that was a must in the music of the past when offering religious services to the sky, which was a way to control the people. This instrument, using bells that make clear to dark and sublime sounds, was later passed on to Korea and Japan. When Buddhism was passed on to China 2,000 years ago, Buddhism had a great impact on the development of bells in China, and the bell became a tool that embodied the hope of humans. In China, which was the first to develop Buddhist temple bells, the bell not only embodies Buddhist significance. It also gets rid of the anger of the gods and wishes for goodwill and peace for the nation and people. Instead of decorations, there are usually scriptures engraved which tell about the history of bells. Most Chinese bells are made of metal, so they have large sounds, but their vibration is short. Dragons often appear on Chinese bells. This reflects the wish of the Chinese people that the sound of the bell is large, since the sound of a dragon is believed to also be large. Let's listen to the sound of the Chinese iron bell.
우리말로 쉽게 표현하면 어깨가 이렇게 둥글게 내려가지고서 각이 없이 내려오죠. 그리고 밑바닥에도 반드시 자르는 것이 아니라 이렇게 너울지게 자르는 것도 있고, 그리고 또 문양을 설치할 때는 가운데 무늬대를 띠를 꼭 반드시 두릅니다. 가운데 중간 분할을 해서 띠를 두르고 또 사방을 4군데로 이렇게 곽을 정해서 거기다가 기하학적인 도형을 설치하기도 하는데 이런 것들이 중국종의 특징입니다.
The most famous bell can be found in Gyeongju and is known as the Amille bell. Amille is not the original name, but it's been called the Amille bell because when it rings, it sounds like a child calling out to his mother. Amille, Amille. If you heard the sound yourself, I'm sure you'll be able to understand the meaning of this bell.
The bell that comes to mind when we think of the representative bell of Korea is the bell of King Seongdeok the Great, which is called the Amille bell. Its size is also unlike any other bell, being 3.3 meters high, 2.2 meters wide, and weighs 72 tons. The top part of the bell is surrounded with a band of fine decorations. Clouds express the world of Buddha. An image of an angel bending its body in prayer is engraved in the center of the bell's body. On the part where the bell is tolled, there is an engraving of a lotus flower. On parts of the bell, there is some writing about the reason it was made. It talks about the delivering of human beings to paradise. The bell of King Songdok the Great, which has an unusually large vibration tube, took 30 years to make and is famous for its clear and deep sound. When tolled, its lingering sound can be heard for up to 3 minutes.
거기에 새겨 있는 모든 새겨 있는 조각이라는 것은 한 번에 여섯이 브라인다로 다듬거나 줄칼로 밀 게 없죠. 한 번에 딱 봐서 한 번에 딱 뜯어내기 때문에 놀라는 거죠. 틀이 뭘 가지고 만들어서 이렇게 섬세한 문양을 냈겠냐. 그건 아직도 신비입니다.
The most representative bell of Japan is the bell located in Cheonin Temple. This bell, which is tolled 108 times on New Year's Day, is 5.5 meters tall. Instead of special decorative patterns, bands that divide the top and bottom and right and left are engraved. This bell was made in 1636. It is thicker than most bells, with the thickest part being 30 centimeters thick. Its weight is 67.5 tons, and it has a clear and clean sound.
で、鐘は全部で、17人でつきます。つく人は1人なんですけども、大きな上の主木といって木の棒ですけども、あれを引っ張る人は216人で、つくのは12月31日の除夜の鐘と4月の宵という時につきます。
Bells of China are not only in temples. A bell tower is in the center of a city, and huge bells usually are located within. The Beijing copper bell, which is located in a bell tower, was used to tell time. The Beijing copper bell, which is the largest among the oldest bells of China, was made in the 16th century when the development of bells in China had reached its peak. Its height reaches 5.5 meters, which is higher than most houses. And its weight is 63 tons, so it needed the work of countless hands to make it. The completed bell has been telling the exact time for 400 years.
I bet you never knew how meaningful bells were. In Korea, on the very last day of the year, which is December 31st, they ring this enormous bell known as the Bushingat bell to bid farewell to the old year and to welcome the new year. This bell has been remodeled, but the sound is still the same. I hope you have enjoyed our show today. I'm Sunmin Kim, and I'll see you next time on Beseto Express. Bye-bye!
The bells of the West have clear and fine sounds, but their sound lasts long only if they are played several times. Bells of the Orient linger for a long time, sending off their sound to far distances with only a couple of ringings. This shows the reflection and wisdom of the Orient. The bell wishes that the words of Buddha are spread to places far, far away.